we have got a true, and I mean really, really, really good story about demon possession right here in Topeka, coming up on our Halloween special in just minutes on Magic 107.7.
107.7.
Story here, and I do want to thank Brenda Mason, the founder of Kansas Paranormal Research Society, and investigator Devan Tucking, because this story is just, well, in my case, this one will just scare you to death. Okay, you told me the story when you came in, and this just freaked me out, because people contact you, you have a process you go through and weed out to make sure that it's worth investigating. Tell me the story about the haunted house here in Topeka. Or, is house the right word? A haunting, maybe.
I think it was more a haunting slash possession. It really, the house itself's not haunted. I think it's just kind of, it was just holding things there that shouldn't have been there. We had a couple contact us a couple of years ago and tell us, you know, of course, I get multiple calls every week. And every call I get, they say they have a demon.
All right.
I don't take it with too much of a grain of salt, you know, when they say that. This, of course, was another, I think we have a demon situation. But then as I talk to the person and she starts explaining things to me, my red flag goes up. There's definitely something going on here, and we probably need to get there right away. We have a very extensive interview process we go through, and a lot of those things I asked her threw my warning flag up. I contacted Devan. We decided we were going to go. I think we went that night, didn't we?
We went in person that night.
We went as soon as we got off of work, because we all work full-time jobs. We don't get paid for this. This is a hobby for us, basically. You know, so we all work full-time jobs. As soon as we got off work, we met them. They had actually left the house and were staying at her parents'. We met them at the house, met them outside. They proceed, you know, we go inside, and as soon as we walked in the door, honestly, I wanted to turn around and leave. I've never felt so, it was so oppressing and just creepy.
The hair on our arms just immediately stood up. I mean, just static electricity. I looked back at Brenda and she looked at me, so I knew she was feeling the same exact thing.
Because I try not to say anything, because I don't want to creep clients out. Two, I don't want to put an influence on somebody. Like if Devan was with me, I don't want to put an influence on what I'm feeling, you know, or anything onto her. So I usually just kind of look around, and so yeah, I looked at her. We tried to, you know, we did very well, I feel, keeping our composure. They take us through the house, tell us all the things that happen. Then they tell us about him lifting their sofa, his eyes turning black. This was her fiance at the time. They're married now. And his eyes turning black, lifting the sofa, running outside, rolling in the grass, talking in an unknown language, foaming at the mouth. Devan and I are like...
all possession stuff.
Possessed.
Right.
Totally possessed. And I'm like... You know, I never would have believed it.
And the whole time we're doing this interview, we're looking down this, you know, fairly long hallway, and we're seeing black figures darting about the whole hallway. And eventually they notice that we notice it, so it kind of confirmed the fact that something was definitely in the house. It was the strangest thing.
And that's when they asked, are you seeing it too? And we said, yeah, we're seeing it, you know. And we continued the interview process, and we determined right then, we said, you guys need to get some things, leave the house until we can get our pastor from Leavenworth and get him here, and it's not safe for you to be here. And she had a young child. He was already with his grandparents. They got their belongings. We got him out of the house, got him to, you know, a safe location. We took pictures of his wounds, because he had multiple wounds on him from his experience, had been taken to the emergency room. They did all kinds of tests, no drugs, no psych problems, no nothing. They couldn't come up with a reason as to why, but when he was away from the house, he was totally fine. So we go back later. and with our pastor, and we go through, and we end up finding this sword, and I call it a hatchet. What was it? It was one of those big sabers that they.
It was ceremonial occultist items.
Occult items, and we said, "Where did these come from?" And they were from her former boyfriend, who had never picked his belongings up, and they were way back in the back of a closet, and she had forgot they were even there. We use K2 meters, EMF meters, to check EMF fields. We took a meter and put it on these items, and those physical items, and this never happens, those physical items were emitting a high EMF, which means they were charged with some kind of energy. And that's not good.
No, I can see right now that this is not good.
Our pastor blessed the house, anointed everything with oil, anointed them with oil, holy water, incense. We did the whole 9 yards. He prayed with them, gave them instructions on Bible verses to read and everything to do. And, to this day, they still do everything we told them to do, and they've never had another problem.
However, how'd the items get out of the house?
Ah, that's a good one.
The items were taken from the house because they said, get them out of our house. We don't want them here. Our pastor put them in his car to drive back to Leavenworth. He said he would dispose of them. And to this day, we don't know where they are or what happened to them. But he did contact me late that night and say that on the way home, they began jumping and vibrating in the back seat of his car, and he had to pull over and get them out of his car.
Man.
And then he ended up having to bless his car when he got home.
So these bad entity had attached itself to these items.
To those, because they had likely been used in some kind of an occult practice.
Wow, is that one of the weirdest ones you have?
Definitely one of the weirdest.
Man, I tell you, when they told me that story when they were in here, man, the hair just stood up on my arms, and I went, oh, man, there is something behind all this stuff, huh? Ooh, happy Halloween for magic.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.